Good morning. This is your favorite financial coach and small business coach, Nikovana Shannon. I am CEO and co-founder of Shannon and Associates Inc. And I am here to talk to you about FedNow and crypto. It is here to stay. So I want you all to join in, get a cup of coffee, some hot tea, and just sit with me. We're going to have a kitchen table talk about FedNow and crypto. So let's jump right on in. But before I get into that conversation, let me tell you what we have going on, okay? We actually are in open enrollment for our small business solutions memberships levels, as well as our personal financial or individual financial coaching membership levels as well. You can partner with us either way. They're two-pronged. If you are a small business, these are the areas that we would focus in on: operations, finance, executive admin. We have several different membership levels that are budget friendly. So all you need to do is just reach out to us and we can talk more in detail about what that looks like for you. Again, we are in our open enrollment season. It starts in May, it ends in October. So we will have a number of events that will be going on throughout this open enrollment period. We have a paint and sip meet and greet that's happening on June the 11th. And we were happy to report that that has already met its capacity. We are planning another one for July. So just look out for that flyer and make sure you register. We would love to have you there. We're going to have some wine, we're going to paint, and we're going to talk about intimate money conversations. We want to take the stigma or the taboo feel off of conversating about money. It's so important that we up our financial language, and we are here to help you do that. So, those are some of the things that we have going on right now, currently. We are looking forward to engaging you. So just make sure that you request a consult, and we'll be more than happy to tell you a little bit more about what we have going on and how we do what we do and why we do it. So let's go ahead and jump right on into the conversation of FedNow and crypto. We're going to talk about some other things as well, but those are the I guess the hot topics that tend to have people engaging and wanting to learn more about what's really going on. So, FedNow, what is it? What is FedNow? Let's talk about it. FedNow is a new way that the Federal Reserve will be transferring money. Okay. What we currently have going on right now would be Zelle, Venmo, PayPal, Cash App, and there are some other ways of transferring as well, but those tend to be the most popular ways to transfer money from one account to another, from one individual to another, from one business to another. So basically, FedNow is going to operate the same way, but instead of it being ran by private companies, it's going to be ran by the Federal Reserve. So the government is going to be running this transferring of money system. It is here to stay. It's here to stay. It's not going anywhere. All of the banks have already adapted to FedNow. All the banks. Even though PayPal, Zelle, uh, Venmo, Cash App, all of these ways of transferring money will not fade away immediately, but they will not be the way that it will partner with FedNow. FedNow would be the middleman, basically. So that means if you transfer something through Cash App, it would still go through FedNow, and then it would transfer over to the person. So the goal really is to have everyone migrate to FedNow. So all the banks are doing it. So that is our main way of transferring money is through banks. So all the banks are already on board, and they are going to be officially rolling this out July 2023. So it's not going anywhere. So the best thing to do is to get educated on it. And what I would suggest you do is go to the federalreserve.gov, their website, and read about it. I did my research on it. I've had the opportunity of talking with some very experienced financial professionals that are in high ranking positions that I am grateful to know. And they were able to give me some insight and some clarity on how this is going to affect us as we move forward. So I can't stress enough, FedNow is not going anywhere. So there's no need to be afraid of it. You really just need to learn about it. So I encourage you to go to the federalreserve.gov, their website, and read on it. Read up on it. Read up on how the banks have already moved into this lane and what that means for you as you bank with them. So with that, I know that there has been a lot of buzz about the banking system as a whole. Is it collapsing? What is it doing? How is it going to affect me? And I know that causes a lot of anxiety because there's just a lot of uncertainty right now in regards to the banking system. But what I can tell you is that there are designated banks, they're commercial banks, designated commercial banks that the government is going to bail out. Let me say that again. There are designated commercial banks that the government will bail out. So if we had a serious craziness with the banking system, something crazy just happens, then yes, the government is going to bail out certain banks. So what banks are those? Well, I can give you the top 5. Okay. It's going to be Chase, JP Morgan and Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and I know Capital One is one of the top 10. So I'll give you 4 and then one of the top 10. These are commercial banks that will be backed by the government. JP Morgan and Chase is number 1. And the decision, how they came about this decision, I'm sure there was a number of different reasons, but one of the hugest indicators, especially you all that are a part of our community and are savvy money managers, and you are about budgeting and making sure your family is well financially secure, that they are financially secure. They are one of the major indicators. It would be where the 1%ers put their money. And JP Morgan and Chase is the bank that billionaires put their money. So they're not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. The regional banks will be affected. They will. Regional banks are already being affected. First Republic has been bought by JP Morgan and Chase, which was a huge footprint in the New York area. And there will be others. There'll be other regional banks. Credit unions will also be affected by this as well. And so it's just important that you tap into a community like this that can really give you sound advice, or at least give you knowledge about what to look for, what to expect, how to move forward in this new place that we are in, right? So, with that being said, there are a few things that I would like for you to take the time to learn, okay? Because this is a learning experience for everyone. We have had bank collapses, recessions surrounding the financial industry that's happened. We had one in 2008. There has been some previous to that, obviously, and we've survived. And there have been processes put in place in order to protect you, the consumer. So, this situation that we're going through right now is not going to be as uh, heavy as the 2008 um, financial bust that happened with all the predatory lending and so forth that was going on. It just really caused the financial industry to regulate better so that it would protect you as the consumer. But this that we're going through now, because we are in a recession, even though they're not saying that we are, but we really are, we are in a recession. There are things that you need to look for and things that you just need to consider as a consumer. So when it comes to where you bank, do you say, do I pull out my money out of the credit unions? Do I pull my money out of the regional banks? The answer to that question is really left up to you, because one of the things that will happen, even if you let your money stay in the bank, and let's just say your bank collapses or it goes away, what happens is that the bank that has been designated to take over that regional bank is just going to kick in. So all you really going to see is a name change on the building that you always go to. And then of course, it'll just roll out from there, what to expect, how things are going to be handled. If in the midst of all of that, if you are not able to access your money, the insurance that is tied to your bank account, because every bank account has insurance tied to it. Every bank account has $250,000 insurance tied to it through the FDIC. That is going to kick in your favor. So what does that mean? That means that you will be able to access your money in a couple days. It's going to take a couple days. If you find out that your bank is closed and you weren't aware of the change before it happened, and you didn't take out some safe money, just something that you could have stashed away to kind of keep you in this in-between place, you will have access to your money. You will get it. The insurance will kick in and you will have access to your money in a couple days. So there are safeguards already in place for you as the consumer. I'm just wanting to educate you on what to expect if anything ever did happen in regards to a bank collapse. And so hopefully that would settle some nerves or some uncertainty, because the one thing that we don't want is for our financial structure to go away. So there are safeguards in place in order to carry us through this time of change, right? So with that, I want to kind of jump into how can you determine if your bank is getting ready to collapse, right? You would just need to watch the stock market. If their shares are trending down, this is concerning your bank. If their shares are trending down consistently, y'all excuse me, I keep adjusting my glasses. Because they look a little crooked on the screen. But however, if your shares are trending down, if the shares of your bank are trending down consistently, that may be an indicator that something is about to happen. Now, those that don't follow the stock market and all of that, that's fine. But these are just ways for those that do, you are able to see ahead of time what is about to happen, right? So, stocks, this is just food for thought. Watch your bank's stocks on the market, especially if they're a publicly traded bank. You will be able to see if there's a consistent trend of them going down to like pennies on the dollar or just a few dollars. That is a clear indication that there is probably an acquisition or a merge in process. So that just gives you an indicator of what to look for. In regards to cash, will cash go away? Is it going to go away? Well, I will say this. FedNow is being put in place in order to help push the process of digitalizing the dollar. Okay. So there is a push to go to a cashless society. Everything done digitally. This is not going to happen overnight, but it is projected to happen over time. So the dollar is being digitalized. It has been in the works for some many years, but now the push is to go ahead and just complete the process, because any electronic transfers that we're doing now, Apple Pay, Apple Wallet, Google Pay, any of that, all of that is a digital dollar way of paying for goods and services. So we are already trained to do it. Our debit cards, the chips on our cards, the tapping, putting it all on our phone, whatever that looks like, all of that is digitalization of the dollar. So this is not something that just happened. This is something that we have been groomed to be prepared for. And now is just the time for it to kick all the way in. So that's what FedNow is here to do, kick it all the way in. But it's going to be a process. It's going to be a process. It's not going to happen overnight. So all I could encourage you to do is just educate yourself on the process and really just be ahead of the curve, so you won't be so taken by surprise in regards to what to expect. So the next question would be, does that mean that the government is going to be monitoring us and they're going to know exactly what we're doing with every penny that we have? The answer to that question is yes. Yes. But let me circle back around. They've always been doing this. Okay. The IRS does it. The federal government has been doing this for a long time. This is just taking it all the way in. Okay. We've always been tracked. Anything that you do electronically is tracked. Okay. It is recorded somewhere. The actual dollar, paper dollar, is more challenging to track, right? And so what is the high level goal? The high level goal is to eliminate fraud, right? The high level goal is to eliminate people fudging on their IRS tax returns. So those are the big high level goals, right? But how does that affect us as regular consumers, right? Everyday consumers that just want to live their life and take care of their family and all of that. Basically, everything that you do monetarily is going to be tracked. And that can lead into a whole lot of different type of conversations, but we're just going to stay on this lane. Yes, everything will be tracked. I can't stress that enough. Everything you do financially will be tracked. Okay. So we all understand that the federal government is going to have a big hand in how the banking industry is handled. They're already doing that. So they're just announcing it to you. They've always been doing that. So yes, they will be controlling the banks to a certain point in regards to monitoring the transactions that are taking place. You know, if your bank collapses tomorrow, you have an insurance policy on your accounts, and it's up to $250,000. So you will get your money, but it'll just take a few days for the process to take place. So when it comes to unexpected, y'all excuse me, I'm adjusting my glasses again. When it comes to unexpected layoffs, technically they're not unexpected because there is a act that the government had to put in place in order to inform us as consumers that businesses are getting ready to lay off. And so any business, organization, private, public, that is getting ready to lay off employees, they have to report it. Okay, it has to be reported 60 days before the layoff occurs. And so that act is called WARN. It is the Worker Adjustment and Retaining Notification Act. And so there is a website. If you look up the WARN Act, it is tied to a website. I can't remember what the website is at the moment, but it will show you all of the organizations that are laying off within the next 60 days. And it has historical data as to who has laid off in the past. So nothing really is a surprise. The government knows what's going on. So food for thought, my community. I'm educating you guys on how to keep up with this stuff. Go out and look for the Worker Adjustment and Retaining Notification Act. It's called WARN, WARN Act. And there is a website tied to it. And go out there and see who's actually going to be laying off and see if your company is going to be on there. And they have to report it. It has to be reported. Okay. Food for thought. We talked about how you can determine if your bank is going to be bought or if it's going to go through an acquisition or a merge. If the stocks are going down, trending down, like it's a trend that it keeps going down, then there's an indication that there is an acquisition or merger on the table. They will just be merged in with one of the top commercial banks that I talked about earlier. So let's talk about crypto, right? And I'm not going to dive deeply into this because I know there's a lot of lanes you can go into, but I'm just wanting to educate you on what to see. So yes, crypto is digital currency and it is here to stay, right? So is it advantageous to invest in cryptocurrency? The answer to that is yes. Now, how do you do that is the question. I would seek out series certified financial planners. And I stress series certified financial planners that can help you navigate that space. Okay. But just to give you some food for thought, the two companies that I would look for in regards to having a pulse on the crypto market would be Bitcoin and I think it's Ethereum. It's ETHCROUM. Those are the two best choices to to learn more about cryptocurrency. They have very good a very good track record, and they're more secure than some other crypto options. So if you are curious about the cryptocurrency market, then I would look for Bitcoin and Ethereum, I think is what it's called. Ethereum? I might be pronouncing that wrong. But go out, research them, study them, see what's going on before you dive into it if you're not already in it, and just see what's happening. I think it'll be a great way for you to learn more about cryptocurrency. It's not going anywhere. It's absolutely a part of our fabric and how we do things. But this is absolutely a cautionary warning, okay, when it comes to cryptocurrency. If you are managing your cryptocurrency on a computer, you have a designated computer that you always manage your cryptocurrency, your accounts, and all of that. It's important that you back it up, okay? Because your cryptocurrency has a digital tracking number, okay? That digital tracking number is directly tied to your computer or wherever you are making all of your transactions and whatnot. So if your computer dies, there's a huge possibility that you will lose what you have built. So it's so important that you back up your information on your computer and keep your digital tracking number accessible in that backup. Okay? Because you don't want to lose what you have gained and what you have obtained. I have heard stories about this even through Cash App when they have a Bitcoin Cash App currency, but if you lose your account or if you get something happens with your account, you lose all the money that you've gained in that currency. So that cryptocurrency. So it's important that you know how that is. So protect yourself. Make sure you back up your computer and that whatever information you have transferred to the backup, it is going to be read. So if your original space or computer dies, you still have that digital tracking number through your backup system to enable you to get to your investments when it comes to your cryptocurrency. Okay. So cautionary warning. Okay, go out and research it, y'all. I encourage you all to always research. Just don't take things just to take things. I do my research. I want you to do your research. I want you to be knowledgeable in your finances. Be knowledgeable in how you do what you do so you can have an intelligent conversation with anybody. You don't have to be the best at the financial game, but you definitely need to be educated on what's being said to you. So you'll know if you want it or not, if you want to move in it or not, right? Because when it comes to investing, it's all about your risk tolerance. What can you tolerate in your risk level? Okay. So that just kind of segues me into talking about how you can, well, you know what? I may use that at another time because we're right at 30 minutes. I was about to jump into a whole nother subject. So let's just talk about these. These are just hot topics surrounding the financial industry, what's happening right now. FedNow is here to stay. I encourage you to go out and research it, read up about it on the federalreserve.gov or website. Talks about, gives you a whole lot of information, what to look for, what to expect, all that good stuff. And again, monitor your bank, check out their stock market, see if they're consistently trending downward. If they're consistently trending downward, there's possibly a merge or an acquisition on the table. We know it happened with First Republic. First Republic was bought by JP Morgan and Chase. That happened in the last 2 weeks. And so we definitely know that there's more to come. So just be aware of that. And also just remember that commercial bank, the top 5 commercial banks will be protected by the government. They will get bailed out because they are the ones that's going to take in all the other regional banks that may collapse in the coming months or years. Those banks are JP Morgan and Chase, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, Citibank, and Capital One is in the top 10. So go out and make sure you just be mindful. I want you to be mindful. I want you to stretch yourself and to really take hold of what you're hearing right now. It's important that you all understand how to navigate this financial space. We are all about blowing the walls out, blowing the lid off of anything that seemed taboo or whatever. We're all about talking about money. We are here because money matters can be simple to understand, my friend. So just know Shannon and Associates Inc. is here to stay. We have celebrated 70 years of business and service to our community, and we are here to educate you, train you, and develop you on anything money. Money matters. Can be simple to understand, my friend. Again, I'm Nicovana Shannon, your favorite financial and small business coach, CEO and co-founder of Shannon and Associates Inc. And you have a great day.